Namaskar. My name is Nilanjana. On behalf of Inspiring Indian Women, I would like to welcome you all today for a very special event of sharing yet another success story of womanhood. The program that's called I Did It. Before we start, and before I introduce you to my special guests for this evening, I would like to introduce you to Molly Gupta ji, who's going to start this evening with a Navratri special. As we know, Chaitra Navratri has started from April 13th, 2021. And Molly ji is going to give us a flavor of Navratri. Over to you, Molly ji.
Thank you so much, Nilanjana. Thank you so much for this opportunity to start with a Devi Ma Gayak song. So I'll just start. I think you won't hear the music that well, but hopefully a little bit. जय मास्टर भवानी काल के पंच से माता बचाओ जय मास्टर भवानी माँ जय मास्टर भवानी माँ जय मास्टर भवानी हे नाम रे सबसे बड़ा तेरा नाम शिरोमणि ऊंचे तिरुवन बिगड़े बनते मेरे नाम रे हे नाम रे सबसे बड़ा तेरा नाम ओ शिरोमणि ऊंचे तिरुवन बिगड़े बनते मेरे नाम रे हे नाम रे सबसे बड़ा तेरा नाम ओ शिरोमणि ऊंचे तिरुवन बिगड़े बनते मेरे नाम रे ऐसा कठिन पल ऐसी घड़ी है विपदान पड़ी है तू ही दिखा कर रास्ता ये दुनिया रास्तेदारों की खड़ी है मेरा जीवन बना एक संग्राम शिरोमणि ऊंची शिरोमणि बिगड़े बनते मेरे काम नाम रे हे नाम रे सबसे बड़ा तेरा नाम ओ शिरोमणि ऊंचे शिरोमणि बिगड़े बनते मेरे काम नाम रे Thank you.
Thank you very much, Molly ji.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That was a brilliant start. We have started with the name of the Almighty, whatever we call her, whatever we call him, the God above,
Absolutely.
the real power, the power that controls our lives, and who we trust, we believe, and we hope that that power guides us in the right direction.
Absolutely. Keeps us going. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Molly ji.
Thank you.
So, moving on with the show that's called I did it. What is the significance?
I'm sorry to interrupt.
What is the significance of I did it?
Anju, you can take off your mask. They
Yeah.
can't hear you.
Hi. Sorry to interrupt. Because I'm outside and my battery is very low. Is it okay for me to go first? If it's okay.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Right. So, what is it you dreamt of? How far will you go? To show the world your greatness so everyone will know? Will you go the distance? Will you pay the price? Learning all the lessons and heeding good advice? There are no guarantees, no tricks, and no sure thing. There's simply strength and passion that define what hope may bring. In today's show, we will bring to you two very powerful women who have defeated all odds against the pandemic that kind of shook the whole world. मैं सबसे पहले आपसे मिलवाती हूँ अंजू तेहरान जी से. And before we go and meet her, I want to share a little story of Anju ji, our beautiful Anju ji. So let's watch it together and then we meet Anju ji in person.
Hello.
Anju ji, we will first watch a
Hello,
story.
everybody.
Anju ji, we will first watch a story about you and then we will speak with you. Is that okay?
That's
Anju
fine.
ji,
Thank you.
Anju ji is outside. She did tell me that she will be traveling. She will be joining us from her car. So thank you very much for making the effort, Anju ji. And here we go.
Thank you.
पाने की हो आस आस कोई अरमा हो जो खास खास आशा ही हर कोशिश में हो बार बार कर दरियाओं को आर पार आशा ही तूफानों को चीर के मंजिलों को छीन ले आशाएं पाने की हो आस आस कोई अरमा हो जो खास खास आशा ही कोशिश में हो बार बार कर दरियाओं को आर पार आशा ही तूफानों को चीर के मंजिलों को छीन ले आशाएं पाने की हो आस आस कोई अरमा हो जो खास खास आशा ही हर कोशिश में हो बार बार कर दरियाओं को आर पार आशा.
That was our beautiful Anju ji, Anju Tehran ji. I will bring her on the screen now. And hi Anju
Hello,
ji.
can you hear me?
Namaskar. We can hear you.
Okay. Thank you.
So where are you driving
Right.
to then?
I can't hear you properly. I think your voice is not very clear, or maybe
Okay.
I can hear you, but faintly.
Okay. I'll try to speak up. Where are you
Sure.
off to?
I'm in the car, as in London. This is the first weekend to go out and do a bit of a shopping. So I'm just coming back with my friend and a family, coming home
Oh.
now. So I thought, thank you for giving me opportunity to speak first. I will be very short and quick, so I will be able to listen as well. Right, so you probably would know, right, so take a deep breath. I've been living in London for the last 23 years, originally from Delhi. I came here after marriage. And so the topic is, how did I cope with the COVID era and what happened during that time? And it has been quite stressful, like everybody else faced, same as everybody else globally. I was working in schools at that time in 2020 March. I was working in a very good school outside London. And as the lockdown happened in UK all over, I had to stay at home until September 2020 when the schools reopened. But during that time, it was not just anxiety, what's going to happen, but it was like my parents back home in Delhi. I was worried about them as well. And personally, I faced 2 illnesses during that time, which were on top of what was happening as in UK with the lockdown. It was not easy to reach out to the doctors, hospitals, and the medical service as NHS. I was diagnosed on 1st of November with an eye problem called retina detachment. So it suddenly happened, no warning, nothing. So as the NHS doctor said to me when I went to the emergency eye hospital, that if it doesn't get treated quickly enough, I could go blind. So, but because of the coronavirus, they wanted a COVID test and they wanted so many other things as well. And there was no availability of the operation theaters. I'm Buddhist and I've been chanting for last 10 years. And I have a full trust and belief that I will be able to get consultant, the right consultant, quick enough to get treated. But my consultant, when I got it privately, told me that I will never be able to see properly again. My eyesight will never be same again, even with the glasses, because it's the retina, which is the back of the eye, which was detached from my eye. After 4 days, I was operated by a surgeon, and I was not able to do much, as I couldn't see with my left eye at that time. I was before I could see your
Anjuji, I think we are losing you. Anjuji, are you still there? Anjuji is having fun today. London tour. I believe we have lost Anjuji. She was driving and she's having lots and lots of fun today. So we will let her have the fun and welcome her back when she comes back. With me, I have today a very, 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 very... Oh, Anjuji is back. Anjuji, are you back? You are on mute. So if you can please unmute yourself.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah. Sorry, it was the Wi-Fi suddenly gone. So I'm continuing with my, the second part of my illness. I've been having lesions, which are the spots, red itchy spots on my torso, mainly for last nearly now 2 years now. And they were not diagnosed properly, as the doctor said it's eczema or dermatitis or some of those things, been given, things, but they would come, stay there for 2 weeks, and they disappear to come back again and again and again. And they were painful at times, but itchy all the time and very uncomfortable, which was affecting my lifestyle. So during this time of the month of November, when I was chanting and I can say resting as well, when I had my retina was detached, I got an appointment from the different consultant, dermatologist, the skin consultant, with a blood test and a biopsy. It was diagnosed that I have an autoimmune disease called lupus. So I was extremely happy that finally, after 1.5 years, I was diagnosed with, the illness I have, because you can't get the cure if you don't know what you suffer from, what illness you have. So that was, again, something happened end of November as well. Although at the same time, I've been told that the cure of that might not be easy, but I was happy that I know what it is and I can manage it. So basically the autoimmune, most of them are like you manage it yourself with the help of diet and exercise. So that's how I kept myself chanting, walking, exercising, changing my diet completely almost. And I'm grateful to everybody, all the support I got from this group and all other groups as well. So I'm going to stop here and thank you for joining.
Anjuji, could you tell us when you were diagnosed with this disease or this problem? Obviously, it must have been quite it was nerve-wracking. Who were your support system at that time? Who did you go to?
I had a support system, but like I personally think, like again, just a short thing I will say. 6.5 years ago, I had for which a brain surgery in London, in UK. So even at that time, some of my friends said to me, I was not scared. Either I was naive or I have a trust or faith. So I think that helped me, like just the belief that if I can recover from a brain surgery, I should be able to. So when my consultant told me you will not be able to see again properly, I was thinking inside me, listening to him, that I will, because it's just having a belief in myself. Support-wise, all my family is back home in India, so I didn't have much support from them other than speaking to them over the phone. With the COVID, nobody could come and help anyway. So I have my friends here who were help and my husband. But again, I know everybody has some, like one of the other faith, they believe in something. I believed in Buddhism, Buddhahood, believing in myself and Buddhahood. So I think that was quite helpful for me to face all these problems during the COVID time, and it was so difficult to go to the hospitals when literally so many people not only died but suffered, and so many surgeries for cancers and so many things were, as you can hear on the news, were delayed. And in my opinion, delayed would have been serious. Thank you.
So, what we would like to know and what everyone else would like to know is what realization or what have you gained out of this experience? We know there was a lot of negatives, but what have you gained out of this experience?
So my learning is, end of the day, you come alone and you go alone. And fear is, we all fear, so that is there. But because as human species or animals, we live on fear or flight. But the fear should not linger on. We should have enough confidence to fight with whatever comes our way.
Absolutely. And finally, Anjuji, what does the phrase "I did it" mean to you?
Like I was saying, so I, did it because I think at that time with the illness, especially, I was alone. Nobody understood what I was going through. I didn't even hear about retina detachment before it happened to me. I didn't know about autoimmune disease, especially lupus, which affected my skin. Skin is the biggest organ. It could affect any part of your body, even if it can go to kidneys, liver. It could be very serious. But I think I've been lucky enough to be diagnosed, and it didn't go to the seriousness of that. So I say that stand-alone spirit. It's very important. Like you said, I did it. So you're standing alone with the support or no support. Just do it. Thank you.
Brilliant, brilliant, Anjuji. Thank you very much for inspiring so many of us. And I mean, obviously, myself, I had COVID as well, and it was bad. My whole family had it, so I know it was quite a gloomy period. And on top of that, having this and then dealing with this alone must have been quite nerve-wracking. But yes, you did it. So well done to you, Anjuji. And I'm not going to delay you any further because I know you're having lots and lots of fun. So I'll let you carry on with the fun. Rashmi, do you want to just say hello to Anjuji and just kind of thank her for being on our show today?
Yeah, really, I am really very grateful to Anju for sharing her story. And she told me, actually, in fact, when my conversation with her inspired me to start this series of I Did It, when she spoke to me about all that she went through, and I was like shocked because it was already a year. She's a very good friend of mine, and I knew nothing. And now when she has come out of it, coped up, and is well, hale and hearty, and I come to know. So I felt that, my God, I didn't do anything. I didn't know about it. And how did you manage? We as friends, we need to be there for each other. And Anju really inspired me to begin this story. Thank you so much, Anju. Have a great time. Enjoy yourself. I can see glimpse of your daughter
Thank
there.
you.
And
Yeah.
love you all. So we will meet soon.
Yeah.
And
If you, Rashmi, if you think this on the Facebook, I can watch it again, like with everything else, like when I be at home, because we're just heading back home.
Of course, of course. This will be on the IIW page for
Yes,
you to watch again.
yeah,
And
it is connected accidentally because the charge is very less.
no,
So
thank you very much for joining
thank
in,
you.
Anju.
Thank you for giving me opportunity to share my experience. And I'll say
Perfect.
thank you.
Thank you very much, and you have lots of fun. I won't keep you longer. Thank you
Okay,
very much
no
for all
worries.
your family and friend,
Yeah.
and everyone who's in the car. Hello to them too. So, bye bye.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so that was Anjuji. We've lost her again, but she did manage to inspire us. She did manage to speak with us. She did manage to share her story with us, and it takes a lot of courage to come out and speak about things that's hurt, that's not being so positive. And we salute to Anjuji's courage that she's come out and spoken with us about it. So now moving on to another very brave, very courageous, very inspiring woman. I I did know Nalini ji from before, but I am going to introduce her to you first with a little a short video of her and people who have been with her throughout her journey, her difficult times, and who still are with her and who makes a big part of her life. So here we go.
कुछ पाने की हो आस आस कोई अरमा हो जो खास खास आशा ही आशा हर हर कोशिश में हो बार बार कर दरियाओं को आर पार आशाएं तूफानों को झील के मंजिलों को छीन आशाएं आशाएं कुछ पाने की हो आस आस कोई अरमा हो जो खास खास आशाएं हर कोशिश में हो बार बार कर दरियाओं को आर पार आशाएं तूफानों को झील के मंजिलों को छीन आशाएं आशाएं कुछ पाने की हो आस आस कोई अरमा हो जो खास खास आशाएं हर कोशिश में हो बार बार कर दरियाओं को आर पार आशाएं तूफानों को झील के मंजिलों को छीन आशाएं आशाएं कुछ पाने की हो आस आस कोई अरमा हो जो खास खास आशाएं हर कोशिश में हो बार बार कर दरियाओं को आर पार आशाएं तूफानों को झील के मंजिलों को छीन आशाएं आशाएं कुछ पाने की हो आस आस कोई अरमा हो जो खास खास आशाएं हर कोशिश में हो बार बार कर दरियाओं को आर पार आशाएं तूफानों को झील के मंजिलों को छीन आशाएं आशाएं
That was Nalini ji. When I spoke to Nalini ji and I asked her to say something about herself and what what she wanted to speak about and discuss about and tell us about, the first thing she said was she spoke about her children, her daughter, her son, her family. So that showed how much Nalini ji, her family means to her. I hand you over to Nalini ji to speak about herself. And I think she's a very, very, and personally, I think she's a very, very, very inspiring woman. Since the time I have first met her. But I will give the stage to Nalini ji. Nalini ji, if you can please unmute yourself and introduce yourself and say something about yourself. Unmute yourself, Nalini ji, you are on mute.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now, loud and clear.
Thank you very much for saying such kind words. It has been a very difficult journey for me, and I think without my children and my family, I wouldn't have survived it. I was very ill with COVID, and I had it from work, looking after a patient who was very confused and was not very well, so was pulling my mask, pulling the shield. And you know, when you're wearing the PPE, it's very difficult for patient to kind of understand what you're saying, especially when they're confused. So because the person pulled my mask and my shield, I was breathing the same air as the person who was coughing and sneezing. And a few days later, I was diagnosed with COVID. And I just couldn't breathe. I had to rely on my family so much. And I think without them, I wouldn't still be here today. And I think every day, all I did was when I wake up, as much as I couldn't even stand and sit, I just used to lay in bed. No life at all in me. And my daughter used to come with her mask and shield and everything and say, please, mommy, get up and have some soup. She was encouraging that, and she's doing medicine, so she knew about how to be very careful with me. And she used to sponge me down and say, no, 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 because I was just very hot all the time, very high fever. And it was just like, I can't explain to you. Having looked after all these patients, I never imagined it was this horrible. And I think, you kind of lose courage, but my children were my driving force, as I call them. And they told me every day, Mom, no, it's okay. Every day it takes small steps. You taught us that. And and my daughter used to say to me, when I used to tell her there's problems in life, there's always a silver lining. And if you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, you make one. So she said, Mommy, how can you just give up and just stay there in bed? And it was quite tough for me. But anyway, I kind of gradually got better as time went. And after about 3 weeks, I actually felt better, and everything turned around, and I started feeling like I could eat. Initially, I couldn't even smell anything. I couldn't taste anything, and I didn't have the energy to eat anything. So I just lived on soup, just having little bits of soup here, there, a bit of fruit, and that was all. And but I am now really well, and I'm back to work. And I just think that I'm very lucky, and I have a lovely family who supported me through this terrible time. And without them, I wouldn't have done it. And they inspired me to be, and who I am today, to say, look, you can do it. It's not that difficult. You always told us that nothing is impossible. Now, don't use sort of, they used to get cross with me because I wouldn't get up, I wouldn't do things, and I didn't have the energy to do anything. But I am well now, and thank you very much for having me on the show to talk about my little COVID episode. And it was a very traumatic journey, I have to say, but I've made it, and I can say that I believe in God, and thank you very much for God, support and faith. Every day I used to say thank you, God, and without fail, I had my prayers I say to the universe every day. Always say thank you for the air I breathe, thank you for the sun, thank you for the rain, thank you for the trees, thank you for the plant. And I think those kind of things, thank you for my beautiful family, those kind of things sort of stuck with me and gave me to reinforce my faith, to say I can do it. These are small steps, but they will gradually build up into bigger and bigger steps.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think the fact that you are thankful, because we are very quick in complaining and saying, oh, why is it me? Why
Yeah.
me? But if we can instead say thank you, for everything I've got, and not complaining for everything that I've not got, because there's people out there who have who are suffering worse than I am. And I think because you kind of had that thought process going on in your mind, I think that kind of really helped you as well. And obviously your beautiful family, and we've shared, your happiness, your family, your strength with everybody. We've got some guests here as well, and I was just kind of uh, asking anyone else if anyone else wanted to ask Nalini ji what they feel, what they think, if there's anything that they want to know, Rashmi.
Yes, Nalini, I know how it feels, when you are, you told me that when you were working, you work as a nurse. It must have been like a lot of colleagues and friends uh, getting, and those days it was even more mysterious. People did not know how to save oneself from it, because in the second wave, like we all know a little bit about it, but it was more mysterious, kind of the pandemic, which is very difficult to understand. uh, what was the reaction of your friends and colleagues when you were suffering? Like, what happened? Like, did they come?
Within a lot of my friends are nurses and doctors. I actually lost a friend who died at the beginning of last year, had COVID, who was a nurse at the Wellington Hospital. And I think a lot of us kind of brace, because a lot of nurses have had COVID now, and it's become a norm to them that they will eventually have it. And each day they always brace themselves, because some of them have small children, elderly parents, and it is very difficult because you don't know when it's going to hit you. Like I never thought I would have COVID, because for a year I've been working in a hospital and I was really safe. So I became complacent until this patient became very confused, started attacking me, and it wasn't the patient's fault, unfortunately, because it just couldn't hear me and was very scared to see this person with all these things on their face, and was, nervous about who I was and what I was saying. So I think within the hospital staff, they have got a lot of fear, because it can happen to anybody. And also with COVID, they could be very fit and well. And, some people survive, some people have long-term COVID symptoms, and some people can die. So, it's very difficult. I've seen people who are 40 years old, nothing wrong with them, fit and well, and they died after having COVID, with, having a heart attack or a bleed or something. So, but I think the most important thing here is we mustn't think negative. Despite what we're going through, the important thing is to have your vision very clear, that this is a phase and you're going to overcome it. Without that, it's very difficult.
I think you are absolutely right there, that it's the faith that's inside us to say, I'm going to come out on the other side and I'm going to be victorious. Because I know in India, doctors don't even go close to the patients. I mean, they're just dying like, like like anything. They don't even, they don't treat them. They don't go close to them. And there's no one to be blamed because so many doctors have died as well. So I think in this.
While I just wanted to say that at the moment, India is going through a very deep health crisis. Uh, Nobody was
Yes.
prepared for this kind of a double mutant and a very different kind of COVID. Everyone, every second house is having a COVID patient. I wanted to ask Nalini, do you think things like those Ayurvedic stuff, the Desi stuff like turmeric milk and all those helped you in any way?
Yes,
Kadhas and tulsi.
I do believe that Ayurvedic, I did drink a lot of turmeric with water and lemon every morning without fail, even though I didn't feel well and I was very sick. But I kept thinking with ginger, some days I'll put ginger, this, that, and make my little cocktail of things to, and I think it does help you. Whatever it is in the turmeric, I do believe, and the ginger and the lemon, it honestly gave me a life at the end of it, because I didn't eat very much. I drank all that a lot. 3 or 4 times a day, I'll have a glass. And that was like 150 mils to 200. And that made me drink water about 800. You need to drink at least 2 liters to flush the COVID out of your system and the toxins that build up. So, it was very hard to drink because I just had no energy. I just wanted to lay in bed because I was hot, I was cold, I was hot. And the fever made me feel very ill. So you need to drink a lot. When you have a fever, you perspire, you lose water, and you become dehydrated. So the important thing is drinking is so important. Even if you don't eat, it doesn't matter. I think the best thing that came out of it, I lost some weight. I was 63 kgs and I'm 57 now.
Yeah, the same thing happened with me, Nalini ji. I was struggling so badly to lose weight, and I think that's the best thing that's happened out of COVID. I've lost weight, so I'm very happy with that.
Nilanjana, it must be very tough with you, with your whole family under this health issue. Your daughters, how did they cope? Like, little ones, yeah.
So the daughters were the least affected, to be honest with you. They brought it in, but then they got over it very soon. It was so I was the worst affected, and so
Oh,
my husband got better, and then but I was the worst affected. But I think that made them grow a bit older than they are, so it made them
mature.
a bit more mature. They they kind of they've never seen mommy, like this, so they were like, oh my God, what's going on here? So because I'm a very active person, I would never, even with fever and stuff, I would never lie down, or so that made them mature. They suddenly grew up, they suddenly kind of started taking responsibilities, and I had a huge support system. So I had just asked somebody for a home delivery service, and the next minute, for the next 10 days, people were dropping food and everything on at my doorstep, and I was like, oh my God. And I think, as we all know, that God can't exist everywhere, so he sends somebody representing him or her or whatever. And I think those when you're away from family, I don't have much family here, um, friends and supporters, well wishers, they are like gods to us, and I'm so thankful to them. So it was hard, but we got over it because I wanted to, and I just didn't like the fact laying down and sleeping and feeling miserable. So it was, as Nalini ji said, it was more of willpower. But Nalini ji, you are a health professional. What would you say to people also back in India? I mean, where the spread is so much. I mean, what advice would you give? As a medical professional, and
Yeah, I think it's very important. Infection control, um, making sure that before they eat, they wash their hands, because COVID can only be transmitted either when somebody's coughing or is you're in the room without wearing a mask, it can be transmitted through the eyes. So if you're not wearing goggles or shield, it can be passed through if they're in an area where people are coughing or something and they're not wearing a mask. If they're wearing a mask, it's very hard because it's all contained within that area. But still, if you're in a room where people don't wear masks and there's poor hygiene, they don't use gel, they don't wash their hands, it's easily transmitted. So it's to be very careful that when you do go home, about putting your shoes, your shopping out, leaving it for a few hours and then bringing it in and things like that. It is difficult. It's not the most easiest system in place, but even, you have to devise a plan that if you're going out in a working clothes, make sure you change when you come home, put those clothes in the washing, because if you're wearing the same clothes, you come out with those coaties hanging, and then if COVID is somebody's been coughing in the area, those coats and those things would have COVID living in it. So that's how it's transmitted. You then touching it with your hands, and again, then your hands have got it. Then you touch something else like a fruit or something in the kitchen, or you touch the door handle, and it's all been transmitted like that. You touch the desk, you might touch the sheet. So then somebody else comes and sits there and is passed on to them. So, I would suggest that people are very careful when they come home. They wash their hands before they do anything else. They don't touch very many areas. So, go straight to the bathroom, wash their hands, take their shoes and their immediate clothing out, change into something comfortable at home, and then you go and have your food and stuff. And that would minimize a little bit. But if they do get COVID, it's very important they drink a lot. And if they can't access medical help, it's important they take regularly 6-hourly paracetamol. They take zinc every day. They take magnesium every day. Take vitamin D. These are very important vitamins when you have COVID. And it's very important that you keep your immune system strong. And things like turmeric, if you can't get hold of these vitamins, it's important to have Ayurvedic, because every household will have turmeric in their house and ginger. So they drink things like that. Put a teaspoon of turmeric, make hot water with ginger and lemon every day, and just drink that throughout the day, no matter what. Even if you don't eat, but drink plenty of warm fluid. Don't drink cold things, because it survives. The cold does, the COVID live. But warm water, they say, it tends to kill the COVID. Now, there's a lot of stories regarding COVID and what it does and what it doesn't. But from my own personal experience, I found warm water really soothing when I was ill, and when I had fever, it helped me a lot. And it also helped me perspire, because when you have temperature, you're very hot. By drinking cold thing, you vasoconstrict, you shut down everything. So it's like when you drink something hot, you perspire, so the heat comes out because you open your pores. So your temperature will automatically go down. And by having regular paracetamol for 3-4 days, it will keep your temperature at the lowest level. Because fever can sometimes give you things like a febrile convulsion. You have which can get to your brain and stuff like that. So you get to keep your temperature light, wear very loose, light clothes, sleep in, very light cotton stuff, and also your sheet, keep everything cotton, so it's light. And eat light food, don't eat heavy meals or anything, very little oil in your diet for the 3 or 4 days, and you will feel better. You do feel very horrible for 3-4 days, you can't breathe, and you feel like, do a lot of exercises with deep breathing, I would say. That is very good. You put your hands on your chest, take a nice deep breath in, hold it, and then exhale slowly. So those kind of exercise will increase the volume.
I agree to that, because this is what had happened to me as well. And my Guruji from India, he said, after 10-15 days, he said to me, Nilanjana, go back to your singing gradually, because
Yeah.
because singing obviously increases your lung capacity, and
Yes.
that kind of then started making a difference. Initially I could just do like, I don't know, 5 minutes, and then because I can sing for over 13 hours at a stretch. I take classes, but then that's how I started feeling better, and that breathlessness kind of started going down. So I think that really helps as well, because it's obviously voice training. It's like yoga. You breathe in. It's a breathing exercise. So I
Yeah.
quite agree with that.
It's
Breathing exercise.
no, you're right. You know, the other thing I would suggest, if people can't do exercises for their lung, they get a glass of water and with a straw, you blow in the water and create bubbles. And that you, because you exhale, blowing, that again is a form of exercises. We do that for children to help them expand their lungs.
Oh,
So,
wow.
for elderly people, that will be quite good, just blowing with a straw in a glass. So they will gradually build up their lung capacity, and be able to breathe in properly, because it's the not breathing that makes you frightened, that you got no air, and those kind of things. Keep your
That's
windows
really
open.
handy. Yeah.
It's the little things we do. It is a hurdle, and we have to just find little ways of getting better, eating little bits of fruit, because all these things help your immunity, and I think you should keep away from yogurt in the beginning, because milk products tend to sort of stick.
Yeah. It's
They,
acidic. Yeah.
yeah. So, but I think apart from that, those are the little things I tried. And as a nurse, I think it's important. Sometimes if they do have infection, they might have to have antibiotics, but obviously that they have to consult a doctor, because with this pandemic time, I think the problem with India is that they can't see a doctor. So I think if they can get uh, to do little things like taking paracetamol regularly, drinking lots, eating small amounts throughout the day, and doing a little bit of exercises, and just trying to get up a few times in the day, even though you feel you can't, you have to try. And also measure if you're going to the bathroom enough, because if you're not passing urine, that means you're not drinking enough.
Yes.
So
Yes.
little things
Yes.
like that.
Agree. Yeah. I mean, my daughter's surgery was cancelled like 3 times because of the COVID, and then she finally had it. I mean, that was a planned thing, nothing to do with COVID. But yeah, as you said, there's so much. But yes, it's very alarming, the situation in India, and uh, we just hope that, you know very soon we come out of this really daunting situation we are in,
Absolutely.
because and I think Na- Nalini ji's sharing her story has actually inspired us so much, and she's given us so much insight into the actual disease, the the prevention, the simple cures, and that's what we want. We don't want big heavy terms which we really find difficult to maintain. She gave us very simple and easy ways to kind of make sure that we are all healthy. Anyone else wants to ask anything to Nalini ji whilst we are here? I believe no. So, Rashmi, we thank our guests, Nalini ji and Anju, today.
Thank you.
Thank you ever so much for joining us.
Okay.
It was lovely, lovely, lovely speaking with you today and yesterday over the phone. Um, that was a little mom chat, but that was really good as well. So thank you. Thank you, inspiring Indian women, to bring up this wonderful initiative. And I think we need some positive speaking in this really, really negative surrounding and the negative situations we are in. We need some people to come out and speak about um, positivity, to speak about how they won the situation and how they are thankful about everything in spite of so much negativity. So thank you very, 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 very much, Nalini ji and Anju ji, if you're watching. Thank you, Rashmi. I thank you, IIW. Thank you to all our guests who have joined here today. And thank you to our viewers who are watching us live and will be watching the recording later on. Thank you very much.
My
Not to
pleasure.
forget, tomorrow we have
Tomorrow we
Nalini.
have
Yeah, Nalini, she's here, right here, watching us. And we have Deepti Unyal as the host tomorrow. And so the story series continues. I wanted to just very quickly talk about Saroj, who's here. Saroj, your camera is off, but I want to tell your story. Yeah, there. So Saroj is also a survivor in COVID. She is vulnerable in many ways, and she has issues with her leg, and she has been living alone, and in these circumstances where she can't go out to buy her grocery provisions, she is managing. She's a fighter, and she is a star. And I hope your leg is okay now. She went through a surgery.
No.
No?
I had a hip surgery.
Hip
Rashmi, I had a
surgery.
hip surgery and they've damaged my nerve. So my leg from knee down has become numb. So I can't walk, I can't drive. I was alone because my husband passed away 3.5 years ago. So it's been difficult, very difficult, but everybody's been around, like not physically with me, but around virtually, which is good. You've been there, you know, everybody's been there. My groups have been there. So, you know, and you did help me a few times that I needed. I was very desperate.
We are so grateful to you. Yeah, you know, these are some positive people, you know, around us, who really keep us going. Saroji, thanks for joining most of our shows. You know, she's been joining us in Here to Here, and then later on Heart to Heart and Live It the Way. She's been there with all of us, you know, stronger and stronger.
Supporting.
And we love you for that.
And I love you too. And
yeah.
your support as well. Yes.
So,
I am slowly, very slowly getting better. I wanted to come to India to see if I could get better, but with everything going on, it's not worth it.
no. I don't.
So just
Yeah.
wait and see. Yeah.
I think we are safest in our own little homes at this moment. We should. No one should travel anywhere. I think.
Yes, exactly.
You know, we are safe where we are. And
think positive. That's what I've been thinking, you know, that I'll get better. My consultants, they know I'm very strong, and, you know, they know I will ask for help if I need it. They look after me. So things go wrong, and this is what happened to me. 1 in 300 get it, and I got it. My hip pain is gone, but I got something else. It is really
but
bad.
you're still smiling, Saroji, which is the way.
What can I do? What can I do?
And smile is very infectious, and we all are smiling now, and we will smile the more we smile, the more we laugh, the more we think positive. We forget, and the negativity, we defeat negativity because our smiles are more powerful than anyone's tears and any negativity that comes to us. So I think thinking positive is, as Nalini ji also said, and did Anju ji, thinking positive is what we need to carry on doing. And thank you, Rashmi, for bringing us all together.
Thanks a lot, everyone. Thank you, Nalini. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And
see you all tomorrow.
Namaskar. Signing off from here.
Bye. Bye.
Really join us tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Sarika.
Bye. Lovely hosting, Nilanjana. Really nice. Bye.
Bye. Bye, Sarika.
Bye.
Oh,
bye,
wow,
Shana.
so cute.
Bye, sweetheart.
Bye.
Bye, lovely. Bye.
See you. Bye.